Every day, 29 people in the U.S. die in motor vehicle accidents involving an alcohol-impaired driver. That's one death every 50 minutes. Drunk driving is an ongoing problem due to the harm and trauma it creates not only for the driver, but for all of the families involved as well. I am very passionate about this topic because in high school, I was involved in a 2-day program geared to educating students about the effects of drunk driving. It was a very emotional 2 days, and I will never forget the effect that it had on me. By using the P's of public, poetic, and pragmatic, this photo creates a virtual experience for the audience in showing the terrible effects of a split-second decision. I'm going to introduce the negative effects that DUI crashes have on families that we don't see all the time, how deaths have decreased but the action has not, and lastly, how being involved creates more trauma for people than we really see on the surface. My first artifact demonstrates the use of public, as it shows that everyday families get put into terrible financial situations that are a struggle to get through. 40% of Americans can't even afford an unexpected expense of just $400. As we can see, items on this list range from $500 to $1,000. My second artifact shows purposiveness by telling us that DUI crashes have decreased, but driving under the influence is still happening. This is a problem because people think it's okay to continue to drive under the influence when they don't create harm for other people. However, they don't realize that every time they do it, they're unknowingly putting other people's lives at risk. MAD shows us that there are 300,000 arrests a day, 29 people killed per day, and 300,000 injuries caused per year. I didn't see how many people my actions impacted until I heard from the victims. This was said anonymously from an attendee at MAD's VIP program. The victim impact panels at MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, are very good for families who want to express their stories that have happened to other family members, someone who has been directly involved by a drunk driving incident. It's just a safe place for them all to come and express their stories, and people who have committed this crime are able to read these stories and see the impact that they have made on these families for the worse, and it really changes them inside. So I think that this program is doing a great job in spreading awareness to people who have not only committed the crime, but maybe who have thought about doing it before, and just making sure that they don't do it again. My third artifact shows us poeticness, as being involved or even knowing someone involved in a DUI crash causes an excessive amount of trauma in that person's life. For example, there was a girl named Caitlin who was out to get drinks with one of her friends, and at the end of the night, she was the one who decided that she was okay to drive them home. However, during the drive, she noticed that things started to get a little fuzzy and that her turns weren't as sharp as they usually are. In her story, she says that the next thing she knows is that she sees a tree in front of her, and then all she remembers is the impact of hitting it. Caitlin had driven her and her friend head-on into a tree. Thankfully, nobody came out of this crash with serious injuries, but Caitlin says that her friend had a little scar on her forehead that reminds her every day of that split-second decision she made. People who survive drunk driving crashes are prone to developing PTSD. This was said by D. Pleeman. PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, affects so many people after traumatic experiences. Some people have it very excessive where they can't even come out of their house anymore, and some people only have bad dreams about it. It affects everyone differently. In summary, drinking and driving is a conscious choice that we are able to get rid of by informing more and more people about the traumatic consequences that families have to endure because of this decision. And remember, one split-second decision can change someone's life forever.